you, Nebuchadnezzar, are this head of gold. So this head of gold is a man, Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon. So it is a father and son kingdom, Babylon, stated by name. We see it. These are your two heads of Babylon. Again, head means king because Nebuchadnezzar was literally called a head of gold. He was a king. These are the two heads of the seven heads, and then later the 10 horns. This is your kingdom transfer right here. It's the Medes and Persians. Persia also has its first heads, aka kings. There shall stand up yet 3 kings in Persia, and the fourth shall be far richer than they all. 4 kings, the fourth being richer. These are going to be your 4 heads of your Persians. The Bible also provides them by name: Koresh, Darius, and Artaxerxes, king of Persia. This is 3 of the kings' names right here. The power of Persia and the Medes. This is your 4th king by name. It further says in verse 4, when he showed the riches of his glorious kingdom. This is your 4th king that would be rich, as it said in Daniel 11:2. These are your 4 heads, the Persians. It says, and it happened after that Alexander, son of Philip, a name, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Kittim, had smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes, that he reigned in his stead the first. That's very important. The first over Yawan. So we have a name of a man who would fulfill this 7th head, which Babylon would be over, revealed or made known through the scriptures. You will never see America is Babylon in the scriptures. 7 heads and 10 horns, NATO, EU, blah, 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 blah. You will never see that in the scriptures, or it shifts into the legs of iron, the 4th kingdom, okay? These 4 kings are not going to stand in his power. So basically, he's doing a handoff. The kings prior were killed. He's going to die. He's being broken, but he wasn't killed by another nation that came in and took over. It's still within the same nation, but it's counted as another nation. Why? Let's see. Maccabees 1:9. After his death, they, the servants, put crowns upon themselves. So did their sons after them many years, and evils were multiplied in the earth. This is the difference. This is the difference of what it's saying. These were evil rulers. This is different from Alexander, son of Philip's rulership. Verse 10, again, 1 Maccabees 1:10. And there came out of them a wicked root, Antiochus Epiphanes, son of Antiochus the king, who had been a hostage of Rome, and he reigned in the 137th year of the kingdom of Yawan. So this is showing us that it's still the Greeks that these servants and their sons are ruling in. It's still Greeks, right? Now watch this. When we read 11:3 of Daniel, when Alexander would rule, Alexander was ruling according to his will. But then we just read that the servants would rule according to what they would want to do. Verse 4, and when he shall stand up, his kingdom shall be broken. Again, that's when he died. and shall be divided toward the four winds, these four kings, the servants, not to his prosperity. So they're not ruling according to his posterity. It's literally telling you that it's ruling different. Again, it's the same nation, but it's ruling like not according to his will. It says, nor according to his dominion, which he ruled. But again, it's the same nation though. For his kingdom shall be plucked up, even for others besides those. So his kingdom, his rulership was plucked up. And it's a different rulership. But it's the same nation. I know we're told that the fourth beast fourth beast, aka the legs of iron, is Rome, and that is a divided Rome. But Daniel doesn't tell us that. Daniel's telling us it's a divided Greece. The legs in brass is according to Alexander's rulership. The legs of iron is according to his servant's rulership. But it's the same nation of people. Again, nobody came in from another nation and killed Alexander, son of Philip. He died naturally. So it stayed within the Greeks. These are your seven heads. One of those heads was, quote unquote, broken. So now if one of them is broken, then you have just 6 kings. Since you only have just 6 kings and you have 4 subsequent kings of the same nation, the Greeks, coming up, 6 plus 4 is 10. This is why and how you then have 10 horns. Since there's these 4 subsequent Greek kings, they're subsequent. They're not first. Therefore, they're not heads. That's why they're then called 10 horns. Heads are first kings. How are they first if Alexander was the first? It said Alexander was the first twice in this. Subsequent is not first. This is like elementary school. And then of course you had a little horn mentioned by name in Maccabees 1 and 10. It says his legs of iron, which we've already done, is Greece ruled by the 4 servants of Alexander. His feet part of iron and part clay. So we need to find out who this clay is. In those days went there out of what nation? Israel, these wicked men. So you have the wicked with the wicked, who persuaded many, saying, let us go and cut a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. Who were the heathen round about them? The Greeks. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. So this covenant is how this feet would then have part iron and part clay. This covenant, you have 2 different nations, these wicked Greeks with these wicked Israelites cutting a covenant. We further have Jeremiah 18 and 6, O house of Israel, cannot I do with you as this potter? Says Yah, behold, as the clay is in the potter's hand, so are you in my hand, O house of Israel. Letting us further know that, again, this is Israelites, that is the clay, that's mingling or making a covenant with the iron, these wicked Greeks. Again, this great whore is Babylon. It's upon many waters, many nations. The Persians, the Greeks, Israel. Verse 15, we've defined these nations, Persians, the Greeks. Babylon is literally at the top of these 7 heads. these nations provided by name, lining up with the history mentioned in the scriptures, having nothing to do with America, having nothing to do with NATO, EU, woolly wop, woot wop, dee dop, none of that. But wait, there's more, okay? Revelation 17 and 15. And here is the mind which has wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sits. And there are 7 kings. Damn. There's 7 kings. 5 are fallen, 1 is, and the other is not yet come. And when he comes, he must continue a short space. Key thing with this, you have fallen, is, and not yet come. This is past, present, future. 5 have fallen, 1 is, the other is not yet come. What people tend to do is say, to hell with the scriptures. I want to be the prophet. Listen to me. The thing is, this is through the eyes of Daniel. Imagine that. Daniel wrote about this so that we wouldn't make up our own doctrines and breakdowns. Again, 5 have fallen, 1 is, and the other is not yet come. The 5 that have fallen, again, you have the first 2 kings of Babylon, which was provided to us by name. In Daniel 11 and 2, where they was listing the Persian heads or kings, it said that there would be 3 and then the 4th. Those 3 are fallen, quote unquote, past tense with the 2 kings of Babylon. There was a present day king, again, through the eyes of Daniel, which was the 4th king. That's the one that is, quote unquote, Xerxes when you watch 300. But anyways, and then the one that is not yet come, future tense from Daniel, that's why it was in the book of Maccabees. That's the one that was not yet come. Alexander, son of Philip, that continued a short space because he died. This is your 5 that have fallen, the one that is, and the one that is not yet come. You also have your 8th, which is your little horn.